This is Discover Crypto. Thank you for joining, Disco fan. We're powered by Arculus. Today, we're talking about what is the next coin that is going to pump after Bitcoin. We got a lot of Bitcoin news. It's looking like supply might outpace demand, or is it the other way around? We're going to discover crypto all together. And we got another special guest. It's a repeat.
What?
Let's discover crypto. Ow!
Capital flight is coming to the United States. The dollar is going to zero.
And that's what makes Bitcoin so special.
You have to have gone through a couple cycles to understand.
Once the price is able to clear this level, the breakout is on its way.
This is your indication to jump in now.
We got Mr. Mark saying, how many coffees does a man need? This is water, okay? And then this is just black coffee.
No, it's not. It's brandy.
It's brandy.
He's drinking Metamucil. Don't lie.
it's just pure Pepto-Bismol. That is what I have in there. Then I crush up some lactate pills in there. Kelly, are you a coffee drinker? And if so, what kind?
I am a coffee drinker, and you know, I try to follow your lead, or I've tried to.
I gave you the hot bean juice speech.
But yeah, about all that sugar, but I just can't shake it. I'm addicted to that sugar.
All
baby.
right, in 5 seconds, 10 seconds, I'll explain it. I said, you know, if you're going to choose sugar in your coffee or not, just look at it this way. You're on a path, you're at a fork, and if you take the left, you're going to pour pounds and pounds, if not a ton of sugar in your drinks over the course of your lifetime, or you take the right path. You veer to the right, and then you put 0 sugar in your coffee. So you're at a crossroads. Do I choose 2 tons of sugar in my diet, or do I choose 0 pounds of sugar? You know, so just make that choice early, folks. All right, well, let's get right into the crypto here. What are the markets doing? If you're asking about the trade, we are still in the trade. If you recall, I said, hey, folks, go ahead and get that stop loss into profit. If you're jumping in with these trades, we're in a Cardano trade right now. We've closed about half of it, so still looking good. TIA, how's the TIA trade doing right now? TIA trade, I'll go ahead and put in a stop loss. I was thinking, you know, before wanted to come in below here, and now I'm leaning a little bit, you know, maybe around that 1025 range. But what are the rest of the crypto market doing? Let's go ahead and hit refresh, because it looks like we're turning bullish, everybody. Bitcoin is up 1.2%. ETH is up 1.9%. We have Solana. Solana is up 2.7%, but still in the red for the 30-day, as well as Ethereum. They're both down for the month. But who's down for the month even harder? It is XRP, and then Cardano, and then Avalanche. These coins are down quite a bit. But look at Avalanche on the weekly and Shiba on the weekly. Those things have had some good moves. If we just look at the 24-hour, Toncoin moving down a ton. Looks like we might see a re-flippening of Cardano and Toncoin. Nick, can Cardano reclaim that top 10 spot? Should Cardano be a top 10 coin, Nick?
Okay. I got something to say.
All right. Should is a word that is used by children and idiot people for them to join a conversation. Should be out of my vocabulary. I say it still. Yeah,
I think to be fair, Cardano should not be a top 10.
Okay. All right.
Ooh,
you know what? You know, we all have different opinions. Kelly definitely drinks coffee and smokes heaters to get that sultry voice. What's a heater?
You know, sometimes you just got to bring in that, you know, it's Kelly Kellum with the #1 hit singles from 1995. Casey Kasem. You know what? I'm into crypto today, so let's talk about that.
If I had to guess, the #1 single 1995, is it Waterfalls by TLC? I don't know. I'm just guessing here, folks.
1995.
I mean, maybe. I don't know.
I don't know that or Spin
That could be.
Doctors.
Chat, let us know what was the #1 single for 1995. Could also be that Boyz II Men Mariah Carey song that was like #1 for 20 weeks.
Yeah.
Kelly.
All right.
Gangster's Paradise.
Yeah, boys. It was Coolio.
It says
it was.
Songs
Oh wow.
Was the #1 song on the year-end chart after spending 12 weeks in the top 2 of the Hot 100.
I revealed a week ago that was the first album I ever bought, was the Dangerous Minds soundtrack.
You know what's crazy? I remember going to school dances in the mid-90s, and everybody would sing and remember, this is a crypto channel. This was not planned. Money to the power, power to the money, minute after minute, hour after hour. That's what we're doing here on Discover Crypto. Let's figure out how we can get that money to the power, baby. All of you.
Nice segue. Yeah, Gangster's Paradise. Mr. Mark with the first one to type that one in. What number should Cardano be then, Nick? So says George Martinez. Answer, Jorge. Answer him.
Well, George, look, Cardano needs to have a little bit more action outside of meme coins in order to me for it to culturally dominate crypto as a top 10. Does Toncoin deserve to be in a top 10? Hell no.
Okay.
But you know what? To Cardano's sort of benefit here, and I think this is going to take some time for the masses to truly understand. One of the things that I think really sort of detracts from people's awareness of how the prowess of Cardano and what it's able to do is that the way it's technically designed, the architecture of it, makes it seem like it's not as fast as some other coins, but it's designed differently. You can do a lot more transactions within one particular block. Within one particular, what do you even call it? Not block.
Epoch.
Yeah.
Well, you have transactions per block or transactions within the transactions as well.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah. So it's actually, there's more throughput than it actually looks like because it's not comparing apples to apples. It's
I saw one transaction yesterday, and it was 37 transactions within that transaction, and it was trading amongst several exchanges, several different Cardano native tokens, and it was just listed as one transaction. But let's look at the biggest gainers of the past 24 hours. We have Akash Network, AKT, is up 40% just in the last day. Zbeck Protocol up 30% in the last day. Pepe is up 20%. Man, did I wish I opened a long in Pepe. I almost want to look at the charts on Pepe before we look at some other coins here. Pepe, let's just look at the... all right,
my God.
Yeah, this is the 25-minute chart right here. I want to pull up the Lux Algo indicators. You actually... Okay, so what are we looking at? This is the 25-minute. We saw some bullish divergence here. You can see, slightly coming in with... a little bit of a lower. That one's slightly higher, but largely almost like a flat price action right there. But if you look down here on the bottom, we have the RSI signaling to you that the market wanted this thing to move on up. And if you traded off of that, you were doing quite well. If we look at the 2 hour, just kind of look at a larger time frame here. We have, it's a little heated right now. However, we do have the money flow moving into the green. You can see the switch over just right there. That would have been just a great trade to get in right there. Looks like you're a little too bullish. It would have tested your resolve with that little bit of a dip. But you see, just nice, strong support for Pepe. So Pepe holders, you're okay. I didn't mean to have that pun. Anyways, moving on. Floki. Floki is up 11%. That's a good one as well. Bonk. 6.9%. So we got a lot of meme coins moving to the upside. We have AGIX above $1 right now. You can see it just floating around $1. It's $1.04, and it is up 4%.
What about
strong level?
What about Coquinho? Are you a cock holder?
Let's check in on it. Just wondering how that coin is doing with the other meme coins moving up. Oh my God. If you type it in, I'm not even going to read it. That one should get you locked up. Some of these other meme coins, folks,
Someone at CoinGecko approved that.
Someone at CoinGecko approved that. Someone needs to have their hard drive, sirs. That's all I'm going to say.
They took $15,000 and approved that for that website.
Yes, this meets our standards.
All right. Well, if we check on this is the 3-month chart here. You can see we had a real strong support. So we kind of wicked up to that bunch of zeros with the 2 level right there. We wicked down exactly to that point right there. And now we're finding some strong support around the 3 area right here. So 5 zeros and a 3. Got all the way up to 5 zeros and a 6. So it could still double to reach previous all-time high.
You could say this action is cock is in its refractory period.
Oh yeah, it needs time to recuperate.
Yeah. It needs a Diet Coke and a sandwich.
I thought you just drank like 8 ounces of cold glass of milk, and you're good to go.
Hey, real quick though, point about AGIX token. It was approved to merge into ASI.
All right, so the community approved the ASI merger.
Yes.
I've talked about the ASI token. We got 3 different AI projects kind of combining forces.
Yep.
And with that combined forces, they should be able to pull their funds to buy more compute equipment, storage equipment, more DPIN. So they need the decentralized physical infrastructure. They need to build that system up. So now they have the millions upon billions of funds that will require.
Indeed.
But let's look at the losers. What are you going to say, Nick, real quick?
No, I agree. Sips coffee.
All right, we're looking, that price action is flaccid, Mr. Mark. You're 100% correct. All right, let's look at the big losers. We have Toncoin. Actually, surprising to see, out of the top 100, it's a top 10 coin to the downside.
Interesting.
Yeah, pretty interesting. A lot of people, exiting the funds for Toncoin. Now, Nick, Kelly, if they're selling their Toncoin, are they getting stable coins or Bitcoin, you think, here?
I feel like it's the Bitcoin season.
Okay.
I feel like it's probably, moving into getting positions, not taking, adding to dry powder.
What do you think, Nick? Stablecoins or Bitcoin with the Toncoin profits?
I would imagine simply because of the degeneracy of Telegram users, they're going into stables and ape into some altcoin.
All right, we got Jaime Gonzalez making his own liquidity pools while watching. We appreciate that. All right, let's look at some other losers here. We have Athena is down 4%. Shout out to my dog Athena. Sorry, Tide, you get some love too. Mantle is down, BitGet token. And folks, hit the likes if your portfolio managed to skate away scot-free here. You're not in the top losers. And hit the likes if you want to be in the biggest gainers tomorrow. And not only that, if we get up to, I don't want to go crazy here. Let's just get up to 250 because I want to share it somewhat soon. Cardano meme coin, that's a different style of meme coin that's doing something very, very special. Told Taco about it, told Justin about it. What they're doing with this meme coin is unlike any other meme coin. And let's just say I'm wearing a hint. I am not a Puma. It's not. I'm wearing a hint right here. I'm wearing a hint. All right. Well, let's look at Bitcoin. I pulled up the Pepe chart. Kelly, do you have anything in TradingView you're wanting to look at as well?
Oh my God, does he ever?
I got a couple things I want to see here. All right. So
Pepe or?
No, just in general. Right now, we're looking at Bitcoin here. You can see money flow. This is the 4-hour chart here. So I'm going to draw a little bit of a line. You can see money flow heading to the downside, money flow moving to the upside. And then you can see started heading to the downside right here. And look what the price action did. We end up seeing a pretty strong correction. I just kind of want to measure this. This is pretty close to the 20%. That would be the 20% there. Can't see how far we wicked down, but yeah, we got a nice little heavy correction there, about 15% from this money flow heading to the downside. But last time the money flow moved to the upside, let me shrink this so we can see a little bit more of the charts. We saw it happen right here. And so the money flow moved on up in a fairly strong way on the 4-hour. So what do we see if we, not even trying to catch the bottom over here, if we just caught the moment where, we flip bullish on Lux Algo. Folks, you got a nice little 11% pump there. So nothing to sneeze at right here. If we were to see an 11% pump from this level, what are we looking at for Bitcoin here? Let's go ahead and measure that out for you folks. We're looking at 11%. Wow, $74,000, right around that area. Kelly, now you're the chart daddy. Am I too bullish hoping for a 74K Bitcoin?
Well, here, I'll show you what I'm looking at. I think 74K definitely is in the cards, but when I'm looking at this chart, what I'm seeing is price action moving essentially sideways in a range. If we really zoom out on this and double click here on this side to put it in auto mode, we can see it's almost not, it's becoming not a bull flag very soon because this is getting very wide here, but we are just ranging sideways. But when we come back over to this 4-hour chart, there's two really prominent things that I'm looking at here. One is the fact that, yes, we hit the top of this range. We came down, tested the bottom, swept it a bit. We have not yet tested all the way down into that short-term holder cost basis. But this right here is sending very mixed signals because this is a rising wedge. Rising wedges tend, they don't have to, but they tend to break to the downside. But when we turn on the BitLab trading stack here, one of the things that I've really been tracking the last about 5 months is this yellow line here, which is the basically weekly VWAP, the volume weighted average price. When the price is below it, it's essentially you're playing a negative spread where the price is getting pushed down, it comes back to it, gets rejected, goes back down, comes back to it, gets rejected until we get into a bullish stance where we break through it as we have here, found support. And even right here, look at this. We tested this yellow line perfectly, which is the VWAP, signaling that the bulls are trying their best to stay in control. Now, in terms of price action to 74,000, I'm looking actually here all the way up at the, all the way up at that previous all-time high region, 73.8 to 74,000. But we still have this descending level of resistance that is coming right a little bit below that at about 71.6. Now, one of the things I do want to point out here is if we do, it's Alt F, which is a Fibonacci from the top to the bottom, we can see the price action is sitting in a very precarious situation because we're testing right on not only this local range high right here, we've kind of swept through it on Wix, but it's right in the middle of this golden pocket. So if we are able, if Bitcoin, not we, if Bitcoin, if you, all you out there buying and selling, if we have the buyers dominate here and we're able to break through this, I think the next level up we're going to watch is 68.5. And if we clear that, with authority and volume, I do think we're going to be starting making that move higher. Now, I do think before we move on, we got to look at Ethereum. Ethereum is, tested all the way back up here, as you can see, right to this key line right here. And this line just looks like an arbitrary line. But if you come out here on the 3-day chart, you can see that this has been, all the way back since October 2022. This has been a very key level that we've been watching. We've broken through it, found resistance, flipped this to resistance. If we can clear this 32.75 level, I do think we can push higher. Now, I do want to just also shout out everybody. We've got this great deal going on at BitLab. It's that halving special. And not only that, even if you don't care about it, if you retweet this, you get entered to win $100. We'll be drawing this on May 1st. It's on the @Academy BitLab Twitter page. We show you how we break down these charts so that you can navigate this yourself.
Will you draw me on April 1st or May 1st?
If I draw you, what are you going to do with it? Give it back to the community.
I'm gonna immortalize it into a stone on an NFT, and then I'm gonna throw that stone into the water.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah. And then I'll kick you off a piece of floating wood that you could have easily fit on. All right, everybody, we have a new video. I'm sorry if you're hearing some audio right then. I'm about to play a video from Dave Portnoy. Most of you know him as the owner of Mrs. Peaches.
That's how I know him.
That's how most people know him here. What does he have to say? He just revealed his Bitcoin strategy, everybody. This is pretty massive. We're talking about some major news. Not only that, he revealed some about Barstool's balance sheet. That's all I'm going to say. All right, let's go ahead and play this.
The owner of Mrs. Peaches, Dave Portnoy, just said this about Bitcoin. It's massive.
Now, when you say doing a lot more Bitcoin, is this something where you plan to buy, spend, invest? What does it look like?
Just buy.
Like for you?
Oh,
Just buy. Like what you said with buy. I own all of Barstool again. So I would put Bitcoin on the ledger.
All right, let's just pause it right there. That is massive right now. He owns Barstool again and said he's going to put Bitcoin on the ledger. We got someone following Elon Musk's footsteps. Hold on, we got about 20 more seconds.
Maybe if I was going to buy it, it would probably maybe sell it, make some money, extra money, which I think is a good place to do for Bitcoin. Oh, yeah. I also want to hold some forever. So.
I want to hold some forever. That is also massive. He's saying he's going to finally have some diamond hands.
So I guess I have my personal and the business side. But again, I got to wait for a dip.
He's got to wait for a dip.
Don't say it, but I am going to wait for a dip.
All right, folks, that's huge. He said he's going to hold.
Is he going to? Yeah, was that the 20% dip? You just had a 20% dip, David. Sorry, 19.4% or whatever, you end up looking at what a wick to. It dipped. It did have a 20% dip. Dave, did you buy any Bitcoin? It doesn't look like he did. But what are your thoughts about this, Kelly? Dave Portnoy, I mean, can he be an onboarding mechanism for Bitcoin for the millions of fans that watch him review pizza or talk about sports?
I mean, I absolutely. And I think what this message is actually exemplifying is we all make errors. I think everybody, I call it tuition in this market, whether you're making a silly trade or you take a loss or you get liquidated or you sold and the price goes up another 100% and you realize, oh, maybe there's a different way to do this. Maybe there's a better way to do this. And I know Dave Portnoy came out, I don't even remember when it was, DZ. Was it 6 months ago or so, maybe a year ago when he was talking about, oh, I should have never sold that Bitcoin that he had. And so it's like, okay, well, now we need to do it different. Where people are starting to see, because there's people that are watching him that may still be on the fence about Bitcoin. And now this is becoming a persistent thread, not only in mainstream media from BlackRock and Fidelity and Coinbase and crypto.com and, the sponsorships and the commercials. But then also we're starting to get a sort of resilience of message that's positive in the space. So every bit helps. And even if it's people just watching him for sports or pizza, I do think it's a net positive.
Yeah, we got a lot of people, mixed reactions on Dave right there. He is a liar, weak pizza boy. Let's see. He's a bum, says someone right there. I like him, except he's one of them. Oh, no, he's one of them. But C90, big shout out to C90. He said he watched the rest of that. That was with Bitcoin Magazine that he did that interview. He said his buying zone is 50K. It's 49,999. So will Bitcoin hit 50K in the near term?
Kelly, will it? I don't know.
Well, here's my thoughts on this. I do think there is a possibility that we get a bigger dip, but I am not going to hold out and wait for this dip that everybody says it has to happen because it's happened all previous cycles, because we've seen a persistence of 20. That's right. In this, all the way since January 2023, we've gotten between 18 and 22% dips along the way, and they've been met with strong buyers. I do think that there's a strong potential that we don't get that larger dip. I'm watching specifically $59,000 right now because that's the short-term holder cost basis. If we break below that, then I see,
And where did we wick to and bounce off last time? 59.4. And so,
Right.
yeah, right in that zone.
Yeah.
We have Lee Bruin. That's a funny name. Is there a jam token? Because then we could pump up the jam, pump it up. I like that. And Eric Carlson says we will not go below 60K. Now, folks, if you didn't watch yesterday's show, you need to make sure you're sub to the channel. All the new viewers, we're bringing live content Monday through Friday. You may have missed this gem from yesterday, or should I say a ruby. You can keister a ruby in the prison pocket, or you can just remember 12 words. That is from yesterday's stream. That's the type of alpha.
Yeah, that's some
I can't
good
even
stuff.
say it with a straight face. That's the type of alpha we're trying to bring you here. I want to give a big shout out to Tony Edward. He has a new book out. It launched a couple days ago. Big shout out to Tony. Go give that a read. Go buy that. It's on
and
Amazon.
he's got great content on YouTube as well. What's his channel?
Thinking Crypto. If you want to see more Thinking Crypto podcast, he has fantastic guests. Always looks the look, and one of the better guests we have on ATB. All right, now let's talk about Bitcoin supply and demand issues. Don't worry, we're going to say the altcoin that's going to pump after Bitcoin, and then also we're going to share that meme coin. Where are we on likes?
161.
161. Let's get a few more, folks. We got to sing for our supper sometimes. All right, Bitcoin's post-halving demand to be 5 times greater than supply, according to Bitfinex. The new supply added to the market could drop to 30 million per day, according to Bitfinex. No, according to the code, everybody. So analysts are saying that the new supply is going to drop, but that is amounting to less than 5 times the average daily inflows into the spot-based ETFs. Investors are increasingly taking direct custody of their coins. And so the recent mining reward has altered the market in such a way it could lead to demand being 5 times greater than that of supply. And so, we've covered this pretty heavily. We went from 6.25 Bitcoin every 10 minutes to 3.125. However, we got daily issuance rate declining. We got new supply adding. We got a lot of buying pressure at the same time. The average inflows from the ETFs, 150 million. So we got 30 million coming out. We got 150 million average buys. Where does this lead in the short term? Looks like a little bit of a supply squeeze. Looks like a little bit of a new all-time high. Could I dare say it? $80,000 Bitcoin. I know I'm ready for it.
I mean, I'm ready for it too. And I just want to bring this chart up here. This is from the Rational Root. This is the available supply. I've covered it on this channel before. Since the last halving, we had a paradigm shift in Bitcoin where the available supply has already been trending down. We just had another halving. This is only going to further affect the effect that demand has on supply, because we're getting a reduction in supply since back here in May of 2020. Now, in addition to all of this, I think it's important to also bring up the fact, obviously, we have this whole narrative with the BRC20 tokens being launched on Bitcoin and this whole ecosystem that's going to be built. We're seeing the fees go out of control. And some people feel like this is a bad thing, but I would argue this is a double whammy. That's right. I said double whammy for what's going on with demand, because when you have higher fees, that also means there's another profitability mechanism for miners. This may also reduce the amount of sell pressure that comes from miners when they're trying to turn profit to keep their business running. So this is just all net positive for what we're seeing with the direction of Bitcoin.
All right, I'm looking at the people talking about Yuga IMF. That was false. It was someone photoshopped that website, and then they deleted those tweets. I was trying to find the people where they're like, haha, I trolled all these people. Probably got some legal notices. So yeah, Yuga is not in the IMF. Good rumor, though.
I mean, if they're putting pressure on countries to not use crypto and Bitcoin and basically incentivizing them by, we'll give you help if you don't use, why would they bring IMF into Yuga into the IMF?
Yeah, no, they wouldn't. They wouldn't bring in the degens from the basement. All right, we're going to talk about the MVRV ratio, and so I don't want to get into the weeds, trying to break it down. Let's not, pull up math equations on the board here. This isn't homework. We're just trying to tell you how to navigate the market, signaling an imminent about 70% price surge. Why? Because we fell below the 90-day average. So it's Ollie Martinez pointing this out and confirmed from Glassnode. The 90-day average of the Bitcoin MVRV ratio has continued to increase here. This is the market value, realized value here. And so, market value to realized value, ratio compares Bitcoin's market value to its realized value, aka what was it? What did it cost when it was pulled from the earth versus what does it cost today here?
Well, realized value is the average of every coin in circulation the last time it moved.
That's last time it moved, not time it was created. Yeah, good point there. Last time it was trading hands. Last time it was exposed to the elements. What was the price right there? But yeah, better way of putting it there. So let's go to the tweet right here. So we can maybe see the chart a little bit better. Every time the MVRV ratio falls below its 90-day average since November 22, it signals a prime buying opportunity with an average gain of 67%. Can you go ahead and pull up a 67% pump just to see what it looks like? I'm pretty interested.
Yeah, absolutely. And just so you all know, if you were watching yesterday, I covered this during the chart
from the low too, though, not from now, from 59,400. So what is 67% from 59,400?
67% pump.
All right, so this opportunity is upon us again, indicating it might be the perfect time to buy some Bitcoin. So here you can see this is January. We fell below it. So this right here, this blue line, 90-day average. This is the 90-day average. Every now and then we do a little bit of a dip below, and then we get a nice little pump. So we dip below, nice little pump, dip below, nice little pump, dip below, nice little punch, touched it, nice little pump right there. And so right now, yeah, we are heavily below, but it looks like we are bouncing back with some strength. Kind of reminds me of this signal right here, which was 91%. So first, let's look. What does a 67% pump look like?
A 67% pump takes you all the way up here to. Let me actually.
What are we looking at? Is this watercolor hour?
No, I can't do it. There we go. 67% is right up here, about $112,000.
Now we also saw. Now you might have to shrink that y-axis. We also see. Share my screen real quick. 91% on the last pump when we had a pretty similar dip below the MVRV here.
Let's see.
What is a 91% pump from 59,000?
91% is me taking a lot of vacation, but that's up about 127,000, 130,000. And it's important to note that these numbers feel great, but I do think that we have to take into consideration $90,000 to $100,000 is going to be a very interesting. There's no way we can predict this. It's going to be a very interesting level on the charts because how much reflexivity and excitement is it going to bring into buyers in the market versus is it going to also be a barrier because that's such a high number that a lot of people are taking profits because we didn't hit 100K last time. So while $129,000 on a pump right out here would feel great, let's not bet on it happening straight away.
Too late. I already did a 50x long. Am I wrecked? All right. Let's look at a crypto analyst. And I saw someone, hey, I got my first trade put in profit. We love when you walk away. You got to walk away with more chips than when you enter the casino. Okay, everybody. The name of the game, take all the chips from the casino. That's what we're trying to do. Sorry, Blofin. I'm trying to take all your chips. And so that's why we're sharing all these levels. All right. Crypto analyst who nailed 2018 bottom says Bitcoin will hit new high in weeks. Predicts $120,000 cycle top. If we look at that tweet we were looking at before, does weeks feel correct? January 24, March 24. So you're looking at about 3 months here. Yeah, weeks. Yeah, we're looking at weeks, everybody. So they're saying we got a really good opportunity in weeks, not days, not hours, not months, but weeks feels pretty good for 120K. And so they're sharing this 120K level, expecting fresh all-time high within the next 14 days. From a macro standpoint, I think they're currently in wave 5 of a larger W3 with a few legs higher still to come. Also expecting to top out 120 for the cycle, though. And that feels a little bearish, I'm going to be honest.
I do want to just point this out. If this were to be a bull flag, then this is not considering those other two things that we were looking at. The measured move, I know the measured move to this also is right at $119,000.
Yeah, so you're looking at, just to share my screen, kind of what I'm building right here, right? You're looking at a little bit of a bull flag starting to form right here. And so typically this is going to be a bullish sign, and you can run up the length of your flag right there, right? Is that kind of what you're looking at?
Yeah, exactly.
All right. And I covered this before, folks. I just want to show it again while I do have it up. Last time Bitcoin hit its previous all-time high of 20K, it was December 2020. And that's when we hit the previous high of 2017. Bitcoin slapped everybody around for a bit. This is the daily chart. We got some nice swings, wrecked all the traders, basically slapped around the market. And now this is the all-time high for 2021. And We're doing the same exact thing we did last time. So what is Bitcoin doing? It's currently slapping the hell out of everybody. And so what happens after it's done exhausting its slapping pressure? That's when things start to move up. And so, that's largely what we're expecting with Bitcoin. Is it going to look exactly like this? No. But am I bullish? I am very, very bullish on the long term, folks. All right, let's keep moving. We got a few things to look at. Mining costs. Anytime you see this, just disregard it. I'm going to poop all over Bitcoin news here. Mining costs surged to $77,000 per Bitcoin, but due to high transaction fees, block rewards, the fees are even higher, $244,000. That's going to shrink. That's going to go down, and it's going to level out. Nick, where do you think Bitcoin mining is going to level out in a week? 50K, 35K? What will it cost average to mine one Bitcoin?
Well, it's going to go up because summertime, and for most of the.
Summertime, a lot of machines get turned off because of the heat. Correct.
This energy is more.
You
expensive.
use more electricity to mine a Bitcoin.
So it costs more. So your wattage does cost more. But not only that, see, my mind originally thought, well, there's some people that use it in cold weather to warm things up, and so to me, it would make sense that they would cut those machines off in June, July, August.
Yeah, that's like the home miners, but the people who have like industrial mine, like CleanSpark, like half of their facilities are passively cooled with fans, and so you have to run the fans like 5 times harder.
Gary with the Prodigy remix, Slap My Pip Up. That was a very, very popular song at the time. There's the MVRV tweet right there if you want to look at that. Here we have some cool ETF news. We're going to cover some ETF adoption stuff. Morgan Stanley filed a prospectus to add Bitcoin exposure to 2 funds. The Discover Crypto Fund. That's Discovery Portfolio. Growth Portfolio as well. So we got Morgan Stanley making it easier to buy an IBIT, a Fidelity, easier to add Bitcoin to your balance sheet. And here we have Eric Balchunas. Let me just refresh this to make sure he doesn't have anything super new. Eric Balchunas, breaking news, just tweeted about this a few hours ago. Wait a minute. Now he has a tweet about a nightmare. I want to read this. Had a bizarre night. This is a side turn. Had a bizarre nightmare last night. Oh, it's about sports. Sixers were up by 5 with 30 seconds left. Yeah, we ain't got time for sports ball against Villanova's team. Oh, it's actually making fun of the Knicks. Okay. He's throwing out suggestions that refs are cheating, maybe for betting. All right.
I do want to just make a comment too about the ETFs and Morgan Stanley. Gary Cardone has I feel like should be famously said, and this is going to be, I think, probably one of the biggest onboarding mechanisms in the US specifically, but across the world, is that with these ETFs, what a lot of people don't realize is there's a lot of people already across the US that have exposure to different investment funds that are going to start realizing that they're not even aware yet that they're holding Bitcoin, that they're holding some exposure to Bitcoin, because these different funds, sometimes you don't even know what all the different components of the fund that you are exposed to are holding. So when all of a sudden you see that you're having explosive gains, it's like, well, what is that from? Oh, it's from the Bitcoin that I wasn't even aware was in my portfolio. Wow, this is great. I should get more. So I think this is going to be an incredible seed of exposure to the greater public.
Yeah, I'm always liking spreading seeds with exposure. All right, we have a new high water mark for investment. What? So he's just talking about who are buying these IBIT and Fidelity ETFs that Morgan Stanley is now making it easier. So now there's a dashboard on a website. So when you're talking to Grandpa about, man, you really got to try to buy these ETFs, he's like, oh, how do I do it, Sonny? You're like, all right, well, download Robinhood. He's like, he's not going to do it. He isn't going to do it. But if you can get him to pull up his Morgan Stanley brokerage account, and all of a sudden on the top it says, buy Bitcoin. Or, you're looking through it and you're like, oh, you see that ETF fund right there? Put a 1% in it, Grandpa. Now it's easier to buy. And so, on that note, Legacy Wealth Asset Management and United Capital Management of Kansas, one's from Kansas, the other from Minnesota. These advisors each put $20 million to Fidelity, and the percentage of the portfolios is high. That's the cool part here. 6% of this fund went into Bitcoin, and 5% of the other fund edges out $17 million an advisor put in IBIT. So a different person put $17 million into the BlackRock ETF. So we're starting to see, hey, here's the people. Here's the people. Here's the Kansas people. Hey, we got this lady. This lady is orange pilled. You are not bullish enough, everybody. All right. BlackRock ETF now 70 days. Why would you say near 70 days? Why wouldn't you just say it hit 69? So it did. It hit 69 consecutive days of accumulation. It nears a remarkable 70. What is your aversions to typing in 69? Wow, yeah, they I don't even want to read it now.
Here's
yeah,
his CoinDesk.
Thrives for 70 days. Remarkable, nears a remarkable 70 days. Close to, nears, approaches.
It feels like they're trying to like limit the scope of how great it is.
Of 69 days?
Well, 69 to 70, but also making it seem like it's basically really exemplifying that it's this new thing.
Yeah.
Like it's all basically they're subtly being like, it's only 70 days, guys.
Yeah, it's but that's huge though. 70 days. We're getting closer and closer to the record. I forget what the record is. It's around 200. All right, Eric Carlson. I got my dad to buy half a Bitcoin stored in a Trezor last cycle. Had to hold his hand to do it, but now he's a Bitcoiner and he gets it. I feel like everyone keeps saying hi, but I do feel like one more dip is when we get everyone, people who have let their guards down. I will say this, the markets are used to the 20% corrections. We keep seeing it. We're at 5 now or something like that.
Well, let me ask you this then. Do you think that there's a potential that now that Wall Street is entering the fray with Bitcoin, that the 20% is becoming the norm? Because with their scope, with their, the way they look at markets generally, 20% is an incredible dip buying opportunity in a market. So they're like,
yeah, that's what I've been saying.
This is where people are buying.
They got like the Paladin or Aladdin AI software. There's just like some genie who looks like Will Smith after the slap. Tough, strong. That's out there and it's buying up. We keep gobbling up the 20% dips. Is there some whale activity, driving that behavior? Because as sure as coincidental to hit 5 times in a row, I have to double check, 5 or 6, to hit that within 1 or 2 percentage points. We're talking like 18.5 to 22.1 or something, and it just keeps hitting 20%, 20%, gobbles up. I
want to shout out Dr. Jeff Ross as well, who's somebody I've interviewed on BitLab Academy, and he also has a hedge fund, and his hedge fund, Valshar Partners LLP or LP, it is the best performing hedge fund in the world so far in 2024. And this is primarily because of the exposure that hedge fund carries to Bitcoin. So we're going to see a lot more stories like this as it goes along, not only in ETFs, but with different investment vehicles out there that have direct exposure to Bitcoin outperforming other vehicles.
Boy, oh boy, I looked up a couple of Jeff Ross jokes to say, well, also he said this joke. I cannot say these jokes. These things will get me canceled.
I saw one. Definitely a different
Jeff Ross. Yeah, definitely a different one. It was the Shaquille O'Neal joke. I'm not going to say. But here we have a huge list of asset managers pouring into these iBit shares here. This is just BlackRock. You see that 17 million. That was Quattro. Financial advisor groups. Quattro, isn't that a symbiotic organism that is attached? Anyways.
I don't know. I got the quad mocha at Starbucks today, which was 4 shots of espresso. So
you have a problem.
Yeah.
1 shot of espresso is what 0.6 of a cup of coffee, right?
Yeah.
So it's like about 2.5 cups of coffee, something like that, roughly. All right. So you had like a nice 22-ounce brew. You're ready to roll. All right. Fidelity revised its optimism over the medium term. However, so they're now more bearish. Fidelity is saying it is no longer considered cheap. So they're saying Bitcoin, 70K, basically not cheap. Is that fair? Is Bitcoin no longer cheap? I would say that's fair.
Well, here's the deal. It's a matter of scope. But to me, Bitcoin is like incredibly underpriced for the actual true value that it provides for the world. In terms of where we're at in scope of where we're at in the market cycle, I still think it's undervalued for where it's going. So I think the perception, because people still look at it in the valuation $2 and say, wow, it was 15, some months ago, and now it's 70. Man, that's expensive. And that's a hurdle that the world needs to kind of get over, because the majority still don't even understand that they can buy a fraction of a Bitcoin.
Yeah.
So I think it's kind of 6 one way, half a dozen the other.
All right. We have some stuff on inflation, and that's going to lead us into the rate cuts here. The typical American family is now paying $11,000 more for the same standard you had in January 2021. Medium home price up 80 to 100% during that period. Gasoline up 60%. Food 21%. Electricity almost 30%. Rent 20%. And the price of eating out is up 21% on average.
I thought it was 3.5% inflation. What's happening here?
Yeah. It's almost like the numbers are fugazi, and it's like if you use 1970s metrics, it's closer to 10%
Hey,
inflation
you know what we
year
should
over year.
do to make sure our inflation numbers look good? We should not count any of the things that matter that people spend on, to live.
Oh, yeah. Let's go ahead and lower the amount that rent is due. Energy, that should only be like a small percentage of inflation
Food,
index.
housing,
but you know what should be
gas.
high? Let's crank up Q-tips.
Yeah.
Let's make Q-tips like a huge portion of the metric of the index right there. What about I'm trying to think what is another random item that they would price? Shoelaces. Everyone's talking about shoelaces. Shoelaces have only moved up 1%. Let's go ahead and make that 15% of the weighted average. All right, we have BlackRock predicting how much the Fed will cut interest rates this year. Remember, we were looking at, I think it was it Fidelity the other day, Nick, where they had 5 2024, then they cut it to 4 rate cuts, and then the last revision down to 2 rate cuts. Well, what is BlackRock going to say about the rate cuts? What number are they looking at? They are also looking at 2 rate cuts. So this is the writing on the wall before we see 0 rate cuts and then before we see an actual rate hike. What do you think will happen to Bitcoin's price if we get a Jerome Powell goes out there and suggests, because he's not just going to say we're raising rates. That won't happen. He has to sprinkle. He has to say the cat is on the roof. What will happen if Jerome Powell next time he speaks says, it looks like we might raise rates? Will Bitcoin crash or pump?
Well, here's the deal. My dad hates the market for this because we should all be buying Bitcoin in the face of the mass monetary just failure of not only our government, but governments the world over. And we should be buying when these things are they're scary within the space. But there is a tight correlation and directionality between the S&P 500, traditional markets, and Bitcoin. And now that Wall Street is involved very heavily and only growing with their involvement in Bitcoin, I do think that we will see a drop in terms of, if the markets are dropping, I think Bitcoin will pull back too, because it's still tied into that risk narrative. Now, I do think that right now we just saw that big pullback on the S&P 500 and, the traditional markets in general. And I think that's because they're kind of repricing. They're reacting to the reduction in the number of rate cuts they thought they were going to have. And if this stays consistent as it is, then the markets can start to rebound. But if they keep trying to soften the blow by getting more and more honest with us about either not having one more rate cut or actually hiking, then I do think it will shock the market.
It's the riskiest thing of all, though? Not watching Tom Crown when Jerome Powell is speaking.
That's
Jerome
right.
Powell always streams Chirpow. And it's just a great time. It's a good time to hang out. All right. We also have Fed rates, just kind of looking at, historically speaking, it takes 8 months from the last hike for a cut. And the last rate hike was in July. So now we're 10 months out with no cuts. So normally we would have seen a cut 2 months ago.
You know what? Special shout out right now to our boy, Caleb Franzen, because in the face of all the different data that's been coming out and all the different speculations with different boomers and doomers out there, he has been consistent since I think about the middle to end of 2022 about when he thought these rate cuts and what the plan was going to be. And it's been almost exactly spot on for what he's been calling this entire time. So definitely give him a follow if you haven't
Follow
yet.
him because he also lives on X. I'm just kind of looking at this 14 minutes ago, and then he did another thread 35 minutes ago, and then he did another one 41 minutes ago, a retweet 1 hour ago, tweet an hour ago. The guy is a maniac when it comes to tweeting.
Caleb Franzen.
Calling out Caleb Franzen right now. Come on the show. We got to talk about what the hell's going on with these markets.
He has entered his man slut face.
Yep, I was waiting for it.
Yeah, and you know it because he's doing live streams now where he doesn't wear a shirt, his hair is all long.
I'm looking for it. He's tweeting almost too many charts there.
He's in Slovenia talking about all the food that he's eating. I'm like, yeah, bro, I'm sure you're just there for the food.
Yeah, you can see chart after chart after chart after chart. So love Caleb Franzen. We got to try to get him back on ATB sometime. Keep moving forward here. Where we at? We got a breaking. This is the collapse of the dollar, everybody.
Yay.
The Fed rates kind of leading into a little bit of stable coin news here. Venezuela shifting its oil sales from US dollars to crypto. As the sanctions on Venezuelan oil are being reinstated, they're considering using what? Tether. They're considering using Tether for their oil sales. Is crypto about to disrupt the oil industry? Wow, big news for Tether right there. Also, should we play the, okay, only 33 seconds. This is kind of going viral. We spent $13 billion in LA alone. So this is going to be for our California viewers or people that got some California connections or people that just like to dunk on California. Here we go.
Did you see this as well? Breaking BRICS exploring the creation of a crypto stablecoin for international trade settlement.
No, but next time I'm 0.2 seconds away from hitting a video,
we spent $13 billion in Los Angeles alone last year to combat homelessness. You want to know where that money went? That money went to these trash nonprofits who have a bunch of executives making $500,000 a year. You're working for a nonprofit dealing with homelessness. That's my money. That's my parents' money. That is the hardworking people of California paying incredibly high taxes that go to what? So yeah, I'm sick of it. I'm sick of it. And honestly, just experiencing what I've seen on the ground in California has made me question a lot.
Do we have any viewers in California that has questions? Hey, where's the tunnel? Where's the high-speed rail? Where's all these things? Why is there feces on my porch step?
You know what's also really interesting is that woman, she's from the Young Turks.
Okay, historically a left-leaning organization.
Incredibly progressive and left-leaning. And she was really shooketh a month ago when the, what's the other guy? Who is the guy from the Young Turks?
Cenk Uyghur, and then his nephew or son is what's that guy, Hassan Abi or something like that.
Yeah, so yeah, she's been having real problems because they're in New York, so she's been having real problems with all this stuff. So,
yeah, a lot of that can definitely get you frustrated. She ain't lying. I'm in California enjoying it, but would never live here. Don't worry, we are going to talk about the meme coins. And you know what? We still haven't even said what is going to pump after Bitcoin. Thanks for sticking around. Kind of stablecoin supply hitting highest level in nearly 2 years. Very, very good for just the large crypto industry. This is what we wanted to say here. Giant whale, and we still got the meme coin. Giant whale with $400 million in Ethereum starts withdrawing ETH from Binance. So we got a giant whale moving some serious funds, 400 million. He just moved 10,000 ETH from Binance. So he's getting these from DEXs and Binance, and he started accumulating April 8th. Average buy price for his Ethereum, $3,172. If we look at the price right now, $3,224. So this whale is signaling, man, this is too cheap, everybody. So maybe keep an eye out on the big ETH purchases. I had another ETH thing right here. Did Justin Sun, is it Justin Sun? So people are saying, is it Sun? If it is Justin Sun is probably one of the better macro traders out there. The guy knows how to catch a bottom and how to sell a top. And so if it is Justin Sun, very, very bullish for ETH price action.
Two things I wanted to share there. One about the whales. This is a chart from Ki Young Ju. And this is the realized cap of whales, the old whales and the new whales. And we're seeing a huge increase in the whale activity on Bitcoin also. So they're obviously the smart money is making some strong moves, even at the price levels that we're pushing into right now. And kind of somewhat breaking from Quentin here, Quentin Francois says Grayscale has only transferred 1 Bitcoin to Coinbase today. The sell-off might be over. Of course, this is a hopium mask. We're going to have to track this, but it will be very interesting if we're not getting all of that weight from sell pressure from that Grayscale rotation.
Gavin Newsom took it. I'm in California. I hate how my beautiful state has changed with these tents everywhere. A lot of people frustrated with, they spend so much money. And so if they had Florida level taxes, you're like, yeah, you know what? You get what you pay for. I don't have an income tax. But when you're paying 50%, you're like, call me crazy. I like my money to, I'd like to visualize where it's going.
And you know the best vote on that? The best vote on that is to
with your feet.
No, yeah, the best vote on that, we can see it tangibly right now, is essentially it's like the new great migration out of California into Texas, into Georgia, into Florida. And it's not just California, it's California and New York, both having a huge amount of people voting with their dollars and their feet moving to other states. So it will start changing what type of policies people are making if they don't even have revenue from
Well,
citizens?
speaking of policies, we got the IMF. Are you excited now? You love the IMF.
Oh,
You
yeah.
just can't get enough of IMF. You close your eyes, you see their logo. We hate the IMF here. IMF is now looking at Bitcoin, everybody. They got a 43-page paper on cross-border flows in Bitcoin, aka people sending money across borders, and they're using Bitcoin instead of dollars, instead of Western Union, instead of whatever they might have in their country. So 3 quick takeaways. We're not going to read all 43 pages. Number 1, if you have limited access to the broader global economy, you're going to use Bitcoin a lot more. So AKA, you don't have access to, just traditional payment systems. You're on the outside, you're in an emergent economy, you're going to use Bitcoin a lot more than average. Number 2, the US is an extreme outlier in the low adoption of Bitcoin versus traditional flows. So normally, all the other countries, there's 195 countries, everybody. Depending on who you ask, it fluctuates a little. Taiwan. So you got capital flows. The higher your capital flows, the more often you're using Bitcoin everywhere, except for the U.S. The U.S. is an outlier here. So you can see it right there. Venezuela is up high. That is an outlier. Look at USA. Way, way low out here, outlier. So we have been captured and fooled and hoodwinked into using the traditional system. Other people across the globe, they're not as dumb as us. And then number 3, you just said the takeaway, the IMF is paying attention to Bitcoin. This is a serious paper written by 3 researchers, a survey of relevant academic literature here, considering the piece from the conclusion. These findings are in line with the recent body of work suggesting that Bitcoin facilitates the circumvention of capital flow restrictions. Keep in mind, so this is suggesting that Bitcoin is censorship free, meaning we can't control it. And so that's why they're going to start paying more attention here. We have the Justice Sun thing. What's behind we got CeeLo. Is it CeeLo Green or is it like cello player?
I think it's cello.
I think it's cello too. I think it's cello. Cello player pivot to Ethereum. I don't know if this is going to be good or bad. They're using the OP stack. What does DZ always say? Devs love optimism. Here we have Final Fantasy time. I say this is pretty big because Square's a big game company. Have you heard of Square, Kelly?
No.
I
mean, the payment processor, yeah, but not the
and the
game.
shape,
yeah,
with the 4 equal sides.
Yeah.
Square Square is one of the OG video game makers. Most famous game they made, probably Final Fantasy VII. So Square, really, really big partnership here, teaming up with Animoca for an Ethereum NFT game. They have to use an L2 for this. I don't know what L2 they're going to use here. So Animoca Brands Japan working with Square Enix in collaboration with some of the 400 plus products in their portfolio. So this just could be, Animoca's invested in an NFT project. Maybe you have a fighting game, but now you have a Bored Ape.
But what's interesting about this, and people have been saying this for about 4 years about the gaming sector in crypto and
Polygon,
how big of an onboarding mechanism that will be when the crypto gaming or NFTs being integrated into gaming really takes off. And I'm here to say it. The second one major player really integrates in a way that's easily usable on the user experience for crypto gaming, and I'm talking like Final Fantasy. There's a great example. If they really do it, it will mark a flood and a shift in the entire ecosystem very quickly.
People are upset you don't know, or you weren't a gamer.
I was a gamer. I didn't know that I played Final Fantasy.
So did you not? Oh,
I didn't
okay.
know
So you
that
didn't
Square
know.
made it.
Oh, okay. So you did play Final Fantasy.
Yeah, I thought I was like, oh, that's
I never played Final Fantasy because I never owned a PlayStation, but I played some of their OG RPGs, Mario RPG and the 7 Stars. Yeah, deep cut. All right, here we have a little bit of NFT news, including Orange Man's wife. Louis Vuitton has an $8,000 jacket by Pharrell given to the NFT holders. So they had, it was only 200 of the NFTs. The 200 owners of the Louis Vuitton NFTs here, they got this jacket sent to them. So I don't know if they had to pay shipping or something, but here's the jacket. This is an $8,000 jacket. How do we feel about this being an $8,000 jacket? So they had the Digital Treasure Trunks. I remember Johnny was talking about this. What did they pay? 40,000 pounds. So, you haven't quite got your value yet. But I would say Louis Vuitton, this is pretty cool. I like what they're doing here. $8,000 for this jacket. How are we feeling about this? I have to be a pass. I'd have to pass. I'm passing.
It's a little too rich for my
I wouldn't
blood.
pay $800. If you had this for $80, I don't know if I'm buying it. And I mean, maybe if I'm like, I guess I have like a Louis Vuitton, maybe. But like, if you're just showing this to me and you're like $80, I'm like, nah, I'm good.
I mean, I've never been, I mean, you all have noticed with the, the clothing that I wear, I've never been somebody that I'm not going to pay somebody to advertise their brand.
Yeah.
Right. And so I'm not going to be, hey, here's my polo shirt with a giant polo. Like, I think I think you look poor when you wear giant things or, very expensive brands that says the brand. It's you just trying to pay to fit in. And I think it's silly as hell. And so, like this jacket right here, I mean, I got it on Macy's on sale.
All right. Someone asked about a SUKU price prediction here.
We looked at SUKU like 2 weeks ago, right?
Yeah. We're looking at SUKU. It had a very nice pump. I'm a little bit longer term bullish. So I didn't take any profits here. It is a wallet play that is diving into base, if I'm not mistaken here. And so that's the big ad there, $1. I'm kind of looking to see if I can see their base. Yeah, they're tweeting a lot the last few days here. So all roads lead to Polygon. So it's SUKU Pay is live. You can go borderless, USDC. So they got a lot of integrations here, but essentially it's a wallet play. And if we're looking at that, folks, I couldn't help but notice a pretty strong trend line here. I feel like it kind of touches here, dips below, touches there, touches there, touches there. I like this little bit of a heck, it looks like it touches there too. So maybe watch that trend line. And if you see it knocking on the bottom of the trend line, which it is doing right now, I'm not hating buying that, especially when you see that pump from nowhere. $45 million market cap, or 43. So TA, the lower the market cap, the less accurate the TA. I will say that though. So another NFT thing, or I don't know if you're looking at that. Are you looking on TradingView?
No.
You just started typing like a furious madman.
Somebody said Arculus on your head. Well, you know what? What did I say? I don't pay to promote other people's brands. But what is our channel sponsor? Who we brought to you by?
Powered by
Arculus. Powered by Arculus. That's right. I don't pay to wear
get
other
paid.
people's brands.
I mean, I got a Puma. I'm wearing a Puma on my chest, but this is from BookCon. And that's going to lead us right after this. Melania Trump, $245 necklace here. And the necklace came with a limited edition NFT. I'm just going to, if I wanted to get into the Trump narrative on Web3, I'm just buying MAGA coin. It's about $5. So you can get about 49.
Your mom doesn't want a $245 NFT necklace?
Well, she's been dead for 10 years. But thank you. Moving on here. Moving on. Bitcoin. All right. So what else? All right. It's time for me to share the alpha. I'm looking at Tap Tools here. That's right. It's a Cardano meme coin, and it is called Beard. Beard is the token. We're looking at a pretty low market cap here. So if we look at the market cap, it is only 842. This is the daily, so that's kind of throwing people off. It came out a day ago, or day before. Fully diluted market cap. Oh, wow. This thing is freaking moving. This thing has moved from earlier this morning. It was, I got in at a 1-point-something million ADA market cap. Now it's a 5.2 million market cap here. I still think, I mean, Cardano's around 50 cents. So you're looking at a $2.5 million market cap. So this is about 2.6 million.
If Charles Hoskinson shaves his beard, does this dip?
Well, it depends. Does he glue other hair from other parts of his body to his face? Because that might be a bounce. All right. So what is Beard? What is special about Beard? Beard's so cool. Beard is actually a book. And so each one of these, it is not divisible. And so you can go to Book.io and you could actually, it is a full ebook with pages and words. And so I have 2.7 million books. And so they set a Guinness World Record by distributing the most amount of books in a 24-hour period. And here, if you use their website, you just link up your wallet. So this guy has Treasure Island, and he also has some number of Philosophy of Beards right there. And so pretty cool, non-divisible. You can't buy a fraction of it. So pretty cool things that they're doing on Cardano. So this token that you can buy on MinSwap, you can then look at it as an NFT on your book application there. So I know I'm bullish on book. Folks, I told you about it at a penny. I don't know, it's like 3 and some odd cents right now. So if you got in early, we're feeling pretty good. I will not buy meme coins because they serve no purpose. The guys from Book.io launched a meme coin called Beard. But yeah, this is pretty cool because it's an actual book. I have 2.7 million books called The Philosophy of Beard. So check that out. You get on MinSwap. I mean, it's probably here. Let's just look. I want to make sure they have a decent pool. Do not buy baby Beard. Let me tell you why. I saw something that freaked me out, and I don't want the Disco fam to get wrecked here. Look at the total liquidity of Baby Beard, $16. Do not buy any. Do not buy any. Please do not buy any of that. That thing will looks like it rugged. So this one though, I mean, for a Cardano meme coin, it has 100,000 Cardano as a liquidity pool. So I mean, if you buy 50,000 ADA worth, you're gonna create a god candle. So just be careful out there. That's why I put in 500 ADA. It's probably 1,300 ADA now. So I'm feeling good about that. I tried to tell Justin and Taco about it. I don't know if they jumped in. And folks, if you enjoy what we're doing here, we're trying to bring you the alpha. We're just trying to give you financial freedom so you can retire early, fix that porch, remodel that bathroom, buy that kid, their college education. Actually, don't do that anymore. Go ahead and buy them a vehicle instead, or give them a BitLab trading course and maybe teach them how to not get wrecked. We want to make sure you are sub to the channel. Make sure you hit that like button. Kelly, are you going live?
Not going live today. Got a lot of stuff we're doing on the back end, but I do want to again shout out anybody that is a BitLab member. Make sure you go in that Discord, resubscribe. We had to switch over. We got a great deal for you. There's a special link for you there, but also this Twitter post right here on the Academy at Academy BitLab page shows you all about the deal we're doing for the halving for all new members. Get in there, and also by retweeting this, you get entered to win $100, not just $100 hairs, but $100. We're drawing that on May 1st. But yeah, I mean, markets are feeling good. They're feeling bullish. Watch out for any whipsaw price action. We're in that chop zone.
All right, and that's all we got. Now chop that like button like karate.
Dang.